Yo, what's up, guys? We're back with another podcast. We have the usual crew today. Myself, Otofu. We got Mathman 200, the legend. Say hello. We got Reeves Apples, Killer Man Extraordinaire.
Hello.
And Atro, Knifebird, the German memer, fucking, you know, Atro,
Hello.
the guy who started it all. Atro. All
Yes.
right. Today we're going to be covering the PTB patch. There was a patch on the PTB, which is the public test build, right? That's what it stands for? Before I say it wrong. I think that's
public
it.
test.
Public test build. No, it's not beta,
beta.
right?
Yeah.
Is it
no,
beta?
Public test build. That's
Either
public
way,
test build.
it's like where you test the new patches before they go live. And they put a new patch on that, and it was live for a while. And yeah, we're going to discuss that. We have the patch notes here. And there's a lot of changes that we're going to get into. And personally, like, before we even get into this, I just want to say that I loved it. I thought it was a really good.
It's really good, yeah.
Yeah, they're doing some really good changes, man. And it's fucking
Man.
sweet.
Fucking Trapper add-on changes.
I know, right? Trapper changes in general are, like,
Like what?
very poggers.
What's that add-on that's like ridiculous now? Slimy Coil? Is that what it's called?
Slimy?
Bloody coil.
Yeah, you mean bloody, yeah.
Oh, it's Slimy Coil. Okay.
Yeah, there's
Yeah,
no
there's no
slimy
slime
coil.
on that coil.
Slimy Coil.
I don't know where that
Unless the
came
slime
from.
is blood.
Oh, man. Okay, anyway, let's just jump right into this, okay?
Alright, let's go. Let's
Features
go
and
top to
content. Added progress bar to emblem tooltips. Wait, I actually didn't even notice that. They did that? I actually didn't even notice. So
I
wait,
didn't notice that either.
More
So-
clarity.
so like whenever you get like bronze of an emblem, it'll pop up on your screen. Because I actually didn't even see that. I'm not gonna lie. But I'm assuming that's what that means, right? Fuck, I didn't even see that. I feel like I'm not even gonna discuss this correctly because I did not see that. Anyway, I guess
See,
it's...
well, I see that's something to note though, because I didn't notice it either. So, did it really make that big of an impression on us? Probably not.
I'm wondering if it was bugged. I remember a lot of the changes that were supposed to be in this ended up not getting put in until like the second patch. But yeah, either it was bugged
Yeah.
or it was so unnoticeable that none of it... Did you guys all didn't realize it either?
Nope, I didn't notice.
Yikes.
It probably was bugged then.
Yeah, fucking yikers. Anyway, another thing was integrated additional stat effects score notification for the Vigil and Decisive Strike perks. Oh, so that's just more notifications about Vigil being
So
a
you-
thing
yeah.
and Decisive Strike.
So
Okay,
you know
cool.
Vigil is affecting you.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah, and then integrated the proficiency system to interaction progress bars from other players. For example, when a player is being healed by a different player while a healing perk debuff is active. Oh my god, sorry, it's the morning and I can't read. I.e. Chlorophobia, they will see the debuff applied in their HUD. I actually did see this. This is cool. So like, yeah, if someone's like healing you with like "we'll make it," the bar will show up yellow. It's not that big of a deal, but it's just kind of neat, you know.
It's
I like
something.
it. Yeah, it's neat. It's neato. You know, those changes aren't really a big deal, but they're neato. Okay, here's the big changes.
You want me to read the balance changes? You want to switch it up?
Yeah, hit me up, brother. Hit me with
Alright.
some reading.
Right, balance. Adjusted the killer pickup survivor from ground speeds to 3 seconds total, down from 4.3 seconds total. Change the obsession mechanic to show all players in the match who the obsession is. All players will receive notification when the obsession is in a chase, animated entity spikes icon. Change exhaustion so it can no longer be recovered while running. Wraith uncloaking. Adjusted the timing of the smoke effect and its audio for the Wraith's uncloaking to avoid giving away its position earlier than intended.
Okay, so 2 of these are fucking huge. And the other 2 are meh. But like, yeah. Like for instance, Wraith uncloaking and the, you know, like the Wraith uncloaking thing isn't that big of a deal. It's just like a neat little quality of life change for him. The obsession mechanic thing, I guess, is kind of cool for the survivors. Like it'll help you like strategize and figure out what's going on, I guess. But like the exhaustion change, I've heard so many people complain about this exhaustion change, and I'm not gonna lie, it kind of makes me laugh a little. And the pickup, dude, the fucking killer pickup is a big deal. That change in particular is huge, dude.
It's huge for flashlight saves
Very
because you
huge.
have to readjust all over again. the
Yeah,
timing.
it makes flashlight saves like borderline impossible. I was actually doing some testing on Kill Your Friends on the PTB, and fun fact, if you have a Lightborn on with the new 3-second pickup, you literally cannot be flashlight saved on. It can't happen. We tried.
Correct.
Yeah.
Because it's 2.5 seconds, so.
What, for a Lightborn save?
Yeah, 2.5 seconds.
That's weird because we did not get a save. We couldn't get one.
No, but it's a 3-second pickup, but don't forget that they look down during a big portion of the animation, so. And blinding doesn't work while they're looking down.
That
so
makes sense. Yeah, because like. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt, but like what we did was we would hold the flashlight the whole time and then have them like pick up, you know, like while we were holding the flashlight, and it still wouldn't blind. So yeah, that makes sense. If he like looks down at first, then yeah, you can't even get the 2.5 seconds.
Because remember, they look down, they get them, and then they start looking up while throwing them like on their shoulder.
Yep.
So yeah, no, that it does make sense that it's impossible, and that is a big problem.
Yep, and on top of that, even without Lightborn, like you know,
hard as fuck.
Yep, if you need to reposition beforehand, you know, it's pretty much
impossible.
It's pretty much impossible. Like if the killer's like facing the other direction, you have like literally
you have to
a
be in
second.
the perfect position.
Yep. If you're not already in the position.
Problem. Well, hold on. It's a problem if people are running Lightborn and they can't get flashlight saves.
I
that's
mean,
not really.
Does that mean?
I heard it's a problem. I'm gonna have to disagree.
I would say yes, because you should be able to, if you're perfectly in front of them, get a blind off. Lightborn shouldn't prevent getting a blind off.
Why?
It's
because that's not the point of the perk. The point of the perk doesn't say remove flashlights from the game. The point of the perk says
it doesn't.
Fuck people that use flashlights over.
Yeah, which is what it does.
I feel
that's
like
exactly what it's doing.
Do that otherwise.
Yeah, I'm honestly not. I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing. I more just pointed it out that it was a thing because I thought it was interesting. Because in the current live build, even with Lightborn, it's possible to get flashlight saves. It's just extremely fucking hard. So I thought it was interesting that this made it completely impossible. But yeah, I mean, is that a bad
which
thing?
is why I feel like Lightborn should be. This change in general, I think, should be the whole turning point to make Lightborn. Because, like what Mathman said, it's not the point of Lightborn to prevent flashlight saves. I feel like, what if you took away...
Why not?
Because I don't think that's a good design.
I mean, I would just want to say, I think Lightborn would be... I'd like Lightborn more if they removed the aspect that it takes longer to blind, but they just pumped up the recovery from blinding by a shit ton.
I disagree with that a lot. I think the thing that makes Lightborn so cool is that if you know people are going to be going for flashlights, especially at like pallets, they'll literally waste their time trying to flashlight you, and then you can just get free hits because they'll never get a blind off. I personally,
that's a great part for pallets because you can still get a blind off at a pallet.
Yeah.
So it doesn't last for at all duration.
Okay.
Which is another part of the perk.
Yeah, I feel like what's going on here, for the record, like Apples has a solid point as far as like why the fuck not. You know, like why not just have Lightborn completely eliminate flashlight saves? I mean, it's a perk that counters flashlights, so why not let it? I think really where the frustration comes from, like the counter argument to that, where like we want to be able to flashlight save through Lightborn, is just the fact that like flashlight saves have been, and you know, for like, how long now have flashlight saves been like one of the last actually like sort of skill-based things that you could do as a survivor, and they just keep getting like hit harder and harder. Like there's already so much counterplay. You literally don't even need Lightborn in the current live build with the 4.2 second pickup to counterplay flashlights, you know? Like against a good killer who knows that you're trying to go for one, you're not going to get one, you know? And
yeah.
Which is like good, don't get me wrong. Like it's a good thing, but still like it sucks to see it in like, you know, a spot right now where it's already able to be counterplayed, and then they continue to like pile on top of it and just make it more and more useless. And it's just like, fuck, man, like that's one of the last things that you could do as a survivor that actually takes skill rather than just running in circles around pallets, you know?
And I also feel like changes like this just, it's like people are gonna be like, okay, why should I even go for flashlight saves anymore? I'm just gonna stop bringing flashlights and bring toolboxes and pump gen sound more quickly.
Yeah. I mean,
there's no point. If you know the killer runs Lightborn, there's literally no point. So I'm just gonna stop trying to play like that. Trying to play altruistically. Just gonna stay on gens.
Here's my thing, right? Killer's already not fun to play, most of the time, I would say. And having a bunch of people who are really good at flashlight saves and stuff and like can't even let you get a hook is like, it's just not fun to play against. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So if you just want to have
I
a
get that,
relaxing game and just put on Lightborn and just be like, okay, I saw like a bunch of people were gonna come fuck my day up with flashlights and I just really don't feel like it. I'm just gonna put on Lightborn.
yeah, I think that's
You know what I'm
totally
saying?
fine, honestly. I like,
I mean, I think that's fine too.
yeah, I was just trying to explain like both sides POV, but
Yeah, no, I gotcha.
I totally agree, man. I totally agree. I think, yeah, I think Lightborn being a complete counter to flashlights is fine. It's a perk, man. It takes up one of your 4 perk slots. You know, if you're gonna run Lightborn, that means you might not be running, I don't know, Enduring or Whispers or something instead. You know, that's gonna be a big deal. Insidious, yeah, no end, brother. But yeah,
I'm
man.
just, and I'm just saying I'd rather have people try and go for flashlight saves and maybe like hit 1 or 2 than just disregard flashlight saves as an option in general.
So
and just
I wanna agree with the point that Brett made, but I also wanna state that I don't think making something completely negate something is bad, because it makes it so you don't need to think at all, right? You don't, with having Lightborn, you don't need to think upon pickup. I feel like having Lightborn be to where the person, the survivor, literally needs to be directly in front of you in the angle to get a save would be better, because then you can't just mindlessly pick someone up. I don't know if it's cool to just mindlessly brain dead things. There's not a lot of mechanics that are mindless and brain dead that I think are good in Dead by Daylight.
Well, let me ask you this then. What do you think of the new Predator change?
The new Predator change is the scratch marks that basically directly lead someone to them, correct?
Yeah.
Into a beeline.
Well,
because that sounds pretty brain dead to me. But
it is pretty brain dead. That's the problem with Predator, as I say, a perk in general, is that when you make it like that, then you have normal scratch marks, which are wonky as fuck, you know? Like, I can understand scratch marks not being 100% like directing to the target, but like scratch marks have had a history of, you know, where the fuck are they going right now? So I don't know. I'd say it's an interesting thing in that front, but I don't know. It's just like a perk that will, just like Bloodhound, I'd even say, or Sloppy Butcher, just give you a trail that you can follow unless there's grass. Like it's really hard to lose someone, which is I'd say in some ways bad, in some ways it's, I guess, a tracking perk. Like it depends on how bad like stealth gameplay is for killers as well. How bad is flashlights for killers, you know? How bad is X? I would say Predator's kind of meh.
Yeah,
okay, I just want to keep this mindset in mind, like
no, that's a great point. Forward. No, that's a very good point, because it's and thing.
I just want to say real quick that I don't think that any of those are bad. Like you're literally replacing one of your 4 perks for something that you don't necessarily need it for, but you're putting it on for convenience because you don't feel like trying your ass off, you know? Like that's exactly the reason why I would run Predator or Bloodhound or Lightborn, is because
that's actually a really good point.
Because you can counterplay flashlights without
Bloodhound because I think it's hilarious, you know? It's fun to see a giant fucking red line that never leaves them.
Yeah, I feel like it's the same thing with Lightborn. Like you can counterplay flashlights without it, but sometimes you're just like fucking whatever. I just feel like fucking around, and I'm just gonna toss on Lightborn because I don't feel like trying hard to like counter it, you know?
You know, perks like Botany Knowledge too, because like that's why I run Botany Knowledge. It's just like a mindless perk that just and really need to think with that perk.
Yeah. Anyway, we're getting way off track. Can we get back? All right, I'm gonna re-rail us here. Okay.
Let's give her a closing statement on the pickup speed change.
Yeah, like 4.3 to 3 seconds. Flashlight saves. We went really hard on Lightborn, but even without Lightborn was the main point. Without Lightborn, it's going to be way harder because you have like literally like a second, if even that, to reposition. So flashlight saves are going to be fucking terrible in the new patch, which kind of sucks. I hope they do something for that because, you know, the rant we just went on just pretty much proves it.
Yeah.
Flashlight saves are like one of the most balanced things, I think, in the game right now. You know, like they're strong, but they also have counterplay. I personally love them on both sides. I even play a lot of killer, and I love them. I would
think this isn't needed. I think flashlight saves are There's
But
enough counterplay as is.
I gotta say though, but I do like the fact that they're speeding up animations. I think that's a cool way to make
I think
killer.
that's great.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
cool.
like it's an
I
interesting
like that too.
way. Yeah, like they're making killer's time efficiency slightly better in like a very interesting way because these animations are so like.
But yeah, maybe go for a different animation than the pickup animation. Maybe take the wipe animation or the hooking animation and speed up those.
Well, I think the wipe animation's a fantastic idea. Because I think blood wipe is a terrible idea in its current form. Because not only do they get a speed boost, but they also get a blood wipe. So you're putting 2 negatives on it. And I think a lot of killers do a lot better because they don't deal with it. Example,
Like
Hillbilly, Huntress. And like Nurse deals with it, but Nurse doesn't deal with it as bad because you can instantly blink back on top of them. So it changes that factor up. But yeah, I feel like there's a lot of killers are just better simply because they, in some form, one way or another, get around the whole blood wipe time wasting.
Oh, here's an idea. What just like this just came into my head out of nowhere. What if the Wraith gets a surprise hit? Like I know surprise hits have like a very long, very large window right now. Maybe reduce the window by a bit. But maybe if the Wraith gets a surprise hit, the blood wipe animation is like drastically cut down.
I mean, I'd rather it just in general, but that is.
Yeah, but like in addition to that, maybe that would make Wraith not as terrible.
It's an interesting concept. I never really thought about getting rid of the blood wipe or like reducing that because I've
thought about it a lot personally.
I mean,
I think it's terrible, and
but
I think you have a speed boost for a reason as well as maybe a short blood wipe.
But whatever, like that just sounds like constant machine gun. Like,
is that that's no. That's like I guess I suppose. But I'd say, especially with the new speed boost, how you're 100% able to control it, that is a big deal.
Yeah, it is. That sounds a little crazy. I definitely love the idea of reducing animations. The blood wipe is probably like the touchiest one in my opinion because again, like that's machine gun. On top of the fact that they're like, spoiler alert, we're gonna get to a change for Save the Best for Last where it's gonna, you know, be decent again, and it reduces the cooldown as well. So like. I don't know. I feel like that's probably the touchiest one. But yeah, there's plenty of other animations like there's pick up, there's throw them on the hook, there's, you know, I don't know, all kinds of dumb shit, dropping animations, all the animations.
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah, searching lockers, yeah, everything.
Instead of
vaulting windows.
Instead of the blood wipe being what is it, lowered or removed or whatever?
Lowered, yeah, whatever.
I would say the speed boost could be the one to go then because
yeah,
that is a very good point. Hitting people is a big deal because there's a lot of hook scenarios where if you have a machine gun, it creates unfun. But what about the speed boost then?
Yeah, no, that's totally like getting rid of the speed boost or reducing it would be fucking cool for sure. I am all about that.
I don't think they should get rid of it. They should just reduce it by a lot.
Yeah,
I agree.
It's sprint burst. It's literally sprint burst.
Yeah, I don't think you should remove something like that. I think you could easily slowly lower numbers and see how it has effects on the game. You know, like, all right, let's put it down 5%, 10%. Let's see how it does there. You know, if they're planning on doing updates in every 6-week cycles, it's a lot easier to do these sort of things.
Yeah.
You can actually
do
feedback.
Do a PTB where the duration is just half of it.
Yeah.
It's just 1.5 seconds.
Yeah, at least just try it.
See how that works.
Sounds like a solid plan, dude. Anyway.
All right, let's keep going.
Yeah, let's move on, dude.
The season reset and ranked pip changes. Do we need to talk about these?
This is basically just when rank reset comes around. I mean, well, this is interesting. The players at rank 15 won't be able to derank. That's the interesting one. So like, basically, if you're a rank 20, like brand new survivor, you're gonna struggle to get to rank 15. But once you get there, you're like locked in. You can't derank past that.
Yeah, you can't go down anymore.
Which is interesting. I guess that's to stop the fucking douchebag like YouTube montagers from fucking deranking to rank 20 and then 360ing on brand new killers and throwing them into their montages or whatever the fuck.
Dude, I was waiting on those montages.
No names. Okay, no names. I'm not saying any names.
Stop them though, because a lot of them. Let's just say there's some third-party programs out there that allow you to do it manually.
Oh, yikers. People really want
Yeah,
these
I
fucking
know.
montages, huh?
I
Anyway,
know, it's kind of chilly.
I want
Yeah.
to mention something though, is that between rank 16 and 20, you also can't lose picks.
yeah, I just saw that. I just further read that.
You didn't say that, so I thought you might have missed it.
Yeah, that's
It's
interesting.
kind of like
So you
Hearthstone
can.
now. For anyone that's played Hearthstone.
I never played Hearthstone, but that's pretty
It's-
cool. You
it's
can
like-
only
It
win.
is the same.
Yeah, it's like from rank, like Hearthstone has like 25 ranks, I think, and from rank 25 to 20, you literally can't lose a pip.
Yeah, that's actually kind of cool. So like, basically, no matter what, you're gonna see progress just as you play, and then once you get to 15, that's when you actually have to start fighting against the D ranks. That's actually kind of cool. I like that.
Yeah, me
All right,
too.
and then the other change is just the number of pips you receive when a rank reset occurs. Basically, didn't they just double it? Isn't that all it is? They just doubled it, I think.
You get less fucked now if you get.
Yeah,
when the
like,
ranks reset.
like before this patch, if you were rank 1 and reset happened, you would get like rank 15 with like a couple pips.
I think it was even 16.
It was
No.
like
No, it
16,
was
I
15.
think.
No,
I think
no, no,
it
I
was
think it's
16 or
15.
15.
It was 15 for sure. But now you get to rank 10 with 2 pips, so you're already like fucking. That's not
So,
halfway
yeah,
to
you're
rank
already,
1,
like,
but you know,
at the
almost.
point where people are actually kind of decent at the game.
Yeah, and this should help a lot with like rank reset. So where like, you know, these like rank 1s with like thousands of hours won't be playing against, you know, poor suckers at rank fucking 15 that, you know, have like 100 hours and they're
they
like,
just
what the
bought
fuck is rank
game,
reset?
just
Yeah,
trying it out.
yeah,
On a
because
sale, and they're like, what the fuck is this?
exactly, because yeah, you'll be up in rank 10 and you'll be matched up with other people that were, you know, like between rank 1 and 5 ish
like,
probably.
4
I
tier 3
think it's a
perks and all that.
fantastic idea,
Yeah.
honestly.
I agree.
I also think that making rank 15 the buffer zone is also a great idea because I feel like queue times in this game can be extremely terrible or extremely good at certain ranks. Like middle ranks might be really terrible or middle ranks might be really good. It feels very varied. And I think the problem with that is because there's such a split in how many ranks there are. Like how many different ranks you can be between and fluctuate between. And I think this being between 15 and 1 now instead of 20 and 1 should make queue times a lot better for a lot of people.
What about the people from 20 to fucking 16, man? That's what I'm worried about.
Well,
What's their
20
queues gonna be
bad,
like?
But 19 should be fine because 19 will rank with 15, so that's fine. To me, I think that's fine. 20 might be an issue though,
I mean,
because
That sounds like a
between
pretty-
4 rank.
if brand new players are sitting in queues for like 10 minutes, that's kind of an issue. I
Well,
don't know if that's what's gonna happen or not. It might
I
be
don't
okay.
think so because I think that new players are one of the biggest parts of this game. There's so many new players all the time. Like there's so
Yeah.
many people that'll just pick this game up and play it just a few times and then not play for the rest of the month. So they'll still be low rank and they'll still be helping for that, you know, attribute.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I can't. I don't want to judge until it actually gets
No,
released. and
definitely. I
see,
think we
you
have
know?
to wait and see.
Yeah, it's just one of those things where all we can really do is speculate right now. But definitely the change, like as far as like what will
It's a good
happen when
change, yeah.
rank reset comes, yeah, it's fucking sick. Good job, devs. Good job.
Good
No,
job,
that's-
Beaver. He's,
I
he's,
think
a,
this is a
he's a pat on the
fantastic
back.
change,
Good
though,
job.
Yeah.
I was gonna clap, but I just realized that I can't hold my push to talk and clap at the same time. I don't have 3 hands. Feels bad.
Push to
Feels
talk.
bad, man.
Feels bad. Come on, push to talk. You don't use push to talk? Oh my god,
No.
dude. And before HO's dog
Dude,
comes
I
in and
have
starts
too
barking or
few
something.
brain cells to remember that I have to push a button when I want to talk.
Oh my
Forehead.
I'm a
lord.
killer main. Forehead.
Yeah, that honestly sounds like one.
Anyway, speaking of killer players, we have killer perk changes here, by the way.
Killer main, no brain. Killer main, no brain. Killer perk changes.
Bitter
We should
Murmur.
talk about this.
Bitter Murmur is being changed. Bitter Murmur has been shit for like since like the dawn of time.
Whoa!
No, it's been shit. Okay.
Whoa.
Yeah, you're right. No, it's been shit.
No,
Like,
yeah, it's
It
toxic.
it was used when NOED lasted for the entire game because everyone ran NOED, and even then it was a bad idea to run it because people were just dumb and they ran it anyway. Bitter Murmur used to only just show auras for like what? I think even at tier 3 it was like 7 seconds when the exit gates were powered. So like when you were about to lose, it was like, oh shit, you're about to lose. Here's the auras for 7 seconds. And that doesn't really do much for you. But now, Bitter Murmur is when a generator is completed, survivors within 16 minutes of that generator will have the auras revealed for 5 seconds. When the last generator is powered, now the auras are shown for 5, 7, and 10 seconds. So it actually got a buff with its main power to 10 seconds at tier 3. But on top of that, it has this thing now where every time a gen's done, you see like their auras for 5 seconds, which is actually really cool.
If they were near the gen.
Yeah.
Not like everyone. It's not a barbecue and chili kind of thing.
Yeah, but still, like, I mean, obviously, at least one person's gonna be on the gen if it got done, at least. And like, it's cool because you can then see where they go. You know, like you can see the like the general direction that they run. I feel like it's a lot bigger of a deal than it seems like. You know what I mean? Like,
I think that was a very big deal.
yeah, like you'll probably be far away from the gen or whatever, but you can
This
see
is-
like exactly where the survivor's going for 5 seconds and pretty much know how to like
Man.
cut them off and find them. You know?
I just hillbilly with bitter murmur and barbecue and chili.
Oh,
nurse.
buddy.
Nurse
Ooh.
Monk X.
I'm sweating already just thinking about that.
See, okay, but that leads me to another thought. Is this perk going to be good enough to actually put into your 4 perk build?
I mean,
like,
if you're a nurse who already doesn't really need perks,
If
yes.
you're using Noah.
I don't,
Yikes.
like, I feel like as a nurse, I would still rather have, like, Shadowborn, Nurse's Calling, Barbecue and Chili. I feel like there's so many other things I would still rather have. It's hard. Like, it's
True.
definitely
I
a
think it's
good
like
buff.
a preference thing.
Yeah,
It's a preference.
it's viable now, which is cool. I like that. They made it viable.
Hell yeah.
Alright. Brutal Strength will now increase the speed at which you damage generators. Not really that big of a deal, honestly. That's people have been wanting this for a long time. I played with it. It's really not that big of a deal. It's like very
It's
slightly
okay.
faster. It is okay, but it's
It
very
already
slight.
takes like 2 seconds.
Yeah,
it's
so now it
20%
takes-
less, so it
yeah.
takes like
like 1.6 or some shit. Like it
Not
it
even
takes
that, it's like 1.8.
It's like 1.8, yeah.
something.
yeah, it saves like
I mean,
a
it's 20%,
fucking
it's
fraction
But
of a
hey,
second.
that's still something. All right, that
It's
is
something.
that is
Which-
still a change.
I mean, considering
you're
the
not gonna be taking brutal string for the gen kicks. let's just
Exactly.
say it like that.
Yeah, no, it's just a little extra, and every fraction of a second does matter in the long run. So
Yes.
that's you can't say no because that pickup. Okay, that's more than a fraction. That's 1.
That's that's like
But you
1.8
get what I
seconds.
mean. You'll get another one of those through enough generator kicks. you
yeah,
know? Like,
yeah, okay.
Every kick does matter, so I think
Hey.
it's a small change that at least does something kind of cool, you know?
True,
And
true.
synergizes
DVDs.
with
I just-
something.
DBD's a game about time and who's gonna say no to a little more free time, you know?
Even if it's
Yeah, I guess.
0.002 seconds on a generator.
It's free time.
I just wanted to announce that it wasn't like I didn't want people to see this and be like,
No,
"Oh
yeah,
my
no,
god,
it's not.
punch
Yeah,
him!" You know, yeah, it's not a big deal.
Oh, dude, it's insane!
Yeah, it's
Holy
like
shit.
it's just because a lot of people were doing that when I first read these
Oh,
on
really?
stream. Yeah, people were like, "Oh shit, this is the change we wanted forever," and I was like, "Well,
Obviously, they don't understand how DVD positive modifiers work and how they're complete garbage.
Yes.
So
yeah,
Oh yeah, I
pretty
forgot
much."
DVD math.
You can't tell me that that's not true because it is. So that's
Oh,
the problem.
Sorry to
You
interrupt.
can't tell me this
but-
is false because it
I want to jump to the next perk because I just saw something that makes me PogChamp.
Heck yeah, go
Hangman's
for it.
trick. Like, this isn't a big deal, this change. Will now reduce the bear trap respawn timer to 60 seconds. Like, obviously, that's a weird thing, but, like, bear trap respawn timer? Like, what is that? How did that not
Does
get
that mean-
mentioned?
Didn't you know? Wait, the base bear traps have a respawn time now, 3 minutes. Didn't you
How
know that?
long has that been a thing?
Since
this
this update?
PTB.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, though. Like, I know that's
It's
a thing,
gonna
but
come
why,
out later.
why is that not, like, already shown? You know? That's so cool that they added that. That's what I'm saying. That's fucking sweet.
Oh, yeah.
Because, like,
because it was bugged in the PTB and it increased it by 60 seconds rather than. So that's why
Nice.
nobody
It does not
talked about it.
happen.
How does that happen? Because you put the number with the wrong
Yeah,
a
I
plus
know
or a minus sign. So
I know. It's just like,
but no,
it's so comical.
I gotta say,
It's
like,
insane.
that's an obvious addition to Hangman's trick, obviously, because it's like an anti-sabo thing. But
no,
I
it's
just-
fantastic.
I just think the fact that they're respawning traps is fucking sweet. I thought that was like one of the dumbest things since the start of this game. That like the survivors could just completely eliminate your entire ability as trapper. You know what I mean? And then like
Yeah,
leave
no,
you as
yeah.
like a wraith that can't cloak, and you're just running around like fuck. What now? You know? I'm so glad that they did that. That's really cool. I mean, honestly, if they even like wanted to like make some changes to make traps somewhat more saboable in like a timely manner now, I think it would even be fine. Like I would be cool with people being encouraged to sabo traps if they respawn because that's time off gens, you know?
This is what I agree. I would say a lot of things could be sped up very slightly that don't impact the generators. because they waste time, but they're too long as is. And I think they were originally made so long because even bear traps, they used to be 6 to 8 seconds or whatever to sabo, and now I think they're 14.
Yeah.
So,
It takes a long ass time now. It used to be
Um,
quick. That's why, like, back in the day, it was ridiculous because you could sabo them and then they would just be gone. And you didn't even have to
Yeah.
disarm them first. You could literally sabo a fucking armed bear trap in 6 seconds, and you could just get rid
and
of
it was
all of his.
insane.
Yeah, you can get rid of all
Speaking
of his traps in
bear
like 3
trap
seconds.
sabo times, I just want to quickly plug in that when we tested the trapper on the PTB, we also tested the anti-sabo add-ons, and I was using sabotage with a toolbox with the hacksaw, so it increases my sabotage speed, right? And with the anti-sabo add-ons, it takes close to 30 seconds to sabotage the trap.
Holy shit.
That's because negative modifiers, unlike positive modifiers, are actually insane.
Yep.
Also, if you have a 20%
With a toolbox.
and a 20%
I
negative modifier,
mean, if you're running add-ons strictly for sabo, that's kind of a bold thing to do. You know what I mean?
No,
like,
no,
how
no,
many
I get
times?
that.
I'm
No,
just
yeah.
saying, it's like, since we're talking about sabo times for the
No,
bear
I,
trap.
I,
Yeah.
I think that's perfectly fine if you want to say fuck your sabo. I guess, like, it's like, hey, I don't want you touching my trap.
Yeah, true.
I'm going to use this very rare add-on to make it so you do not touch my trap. Well, you still can. It's
But
just
they're
a
gonna
really bad
respawn.
idea. Yeah, no, it's just
They're
a
gonna
bad
respawn,
idea.
right? By the time you saboed, like, your second trap, the first one's gonna be respawned.
Yeah. I mean, that's cool though. Good.
I mean, that's
No, I think it's cool, yeah.
hyperbole, but still. Next perk.
Anyway, Predator changed the way
We
scratch
talked
marks
about
are
this.
distributed. Yeah, we kind of touched base on this earlier because spoilers. But yeah, they're getting.
Also, with Predator, the scratch marks don't spawn on walls anymore. They strictly spawn on the floor.
Yeah, it's just a straight line on the floor, which is interesting. I've had a lot of people telling me that this is going to end up hurting more than it's helping. Because, okay, if anyone doesn't know, scratch marks don't show up over tall grass, okay? This is a weird change that happened whenever they updated the engine. Back in the day, scratch marks showed up over tall grass. You could delete, or you could see them through tall grass. I can't really remember. That was like fucking a year and a half ago. But I remember not having tall grass be that big of a deal with scratch marks. And ever since that update, that's one of the major things that made scratch marks so hard to follow. And I'm wondering if, like, okay, the new Predator's sweet. If you're playing on a map like Larry's or something,
Sweet.
you like, it's just a fucking straight line right to them. Like, it's crazy. You don't even have to, like, look at your screen. This is great for someone like me because I like to read chat. Like, I stream when I play, so I like to, like, read chat and not really be, like, face glued to the screen, you know? So this is awesome for me. But I'm wondering if, like, if someone runs through, like, grass, you know, like, the scratch marks aren't going to get painted onto, like, the trees and, like, the walls anymore. It's just going to be on the ground. So I wonder if it's going to actually make it harder.
We'll
So
have to, like, play with that a little bit and figure that out.
Yeah.
this perk triggers me for 2 reasons. First of all, this perk triggers me because it indefinitely proves that they have the ability to fix scratch marks, and they just like didn't. Like
Right?
they're just like, eh, there's a perk for that. What? Get out of here! You know what I mean?
Get
Like,
out of
it's
here!
like,
Don't pick the perk.
it's like
Just pick the perk, man.
like literally Predator is just like how I imagine the back end code is like change the consistency variable to like a
Such
higher
good
rate.
point, yeah.
It's like that's so stupid in my opinion. I think that they could easily clean up more of the scratch marks to make killer a little less like what the fuck are these scratch marks. Anyways, that was my first triggered. My second triggered is for anybody who's coming into chats asking killer players like, is Predator a good perk to run? The answer in my opinion is most of the time going to be no. The reason for that is like the sole reason that you said you liked it, Tofu, was like I like Predator because it makes me like I can like read chat and still chase. It's like, yeah, that's awesome, but like, you know, if you're focused on the game, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You wouldn't have to do that. So
No,
like it's that there's definitely a lot better things, but this is one of those like I guess
It's kind of like
ease
Lightborn.
perks. Yeah,
It's,
exactly.
It's exactly like
It's
how.
exactly like Lightborn.
Yep, it's one of those perks where like it's interesting because it fixes a problem that is sort of not really a problem. It's sort of like an inconvenience, you know, that you can work around.
Right.
But if you just don't feel
Right.
like working around it, you can throw in this perk and be like, there you go, here it is for free, you know? It's the same thing as Lightborn,
Right.
same thing as like Bloodhound.
Also, just a thought I was gonna say, because this is kind of like a perk also that's kind of directed at newer players. Just like as a thought, I feel like perks like Predator and Unrelenting should be unlocked from the start. Like this doesn't really need any further discussion. I just wanted to say, since they already did the whole thing where your character gets like the first 3 teachables instantly unlocked. I just feel like if you started the game and I think if you do the killer tutorial, maybe you get like Predator 3 and Unrelenting 3 unlocked, and if you do the Survivor tutorial, you get like Deja Vu 3 unlocked and something like that.
That would be cool, yeah. Like if there's perks like specifically designed to help new players, you know, maybe have them unlock for as a reward for doing the tutorial. Yeah, we don't really need to like discuss that. I feel like we could all just agree that that's probably a cool idea, right? Unless anyone disagrees.
No, I think we need to talk about that for about 2 hours. So let's
all right. Fuck the podcast. We're just gonna start talking about this, dude. Fuck it.
Right. Next perk.
Save the best for last.
Dude, I love this change. They made the perk token based again. Tokens are now gained by attacking survivors who are not the obsession. Each token is worth a stackable 5% decreased cooldown on successful attacks. Attacking the obsession makes you lose. I'm just gonna do the tier 3 value at two tokens. Like who's gonna be, you know, everyone's gonna get tier 3 eventually. So this is fucking interesting because this actually makes save the best for last. Actually save the best for last. Like you do not want to touch your obsession with this perk. I was playing around with this a lot on the PTB. And
if just a quick question, if you were playing around this a lot, is it true that if you kill your obsession, your value of tokens is just locked in place? You cannot lose any more tokens?
I think it all goes away. I think even if you have like 6 tokens, I think they all go away. Because
I've heard a DBD YouTuber like say that if you kill your obsession, you get full tokens. You just get to keep the full tokens.
I'm pretty sure I'm not 100% on this, so don't take this as fact. But I think I remember killing my obsession and still having like 2 tokens, and it took those 2 tokens away, and I ended up with like none. I think.
Okay, that's good because I don't want it to be like that. Where
yeah,
if you kill the obsession, you just get to keep all the tokens.
Yeah, that's how it should work. It should take them away. I'm pretty sure that's how it did work, but I'm not 100%. That's my vague memory.
They should probably put that in the tooltip.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
that's pretty big.
That just says attacking the obsession makes you lose tokens, but it's like.
And sacrificing obsession makes you lose all tokens.
Right.
Yeah.
There you go. It's like 5 more words. It's more than 5. But...
Yeah, but anyway, this is really cool because it max stacks. Okay, it maxes at 8. It doesn't say that on there, but it maxes at 8. And 8 is 40% cooldown, which is a decent bit. I think old machine gun was like 55 or something. It was like somewhere in the 50s.
It was 55, yeah.
Yeah, so this is like 15 less than that. It's pretty strong. I'm not gonna lie. It's pretty fucking cool. But it's also hard to get. It's not like old machine gun where you just slap on 2 perks and then you have it. Like you have to work for it, you know. And on top of that, you have to avoid your obsession. Like I found myself playing games where I would literally just see the obsession and be like, nope, and just walk away and go find someone else. Because if you down your obsession, that's 2 hits. That's -4 stacks. You know what I mean? That's rough, man. That's very rough. But if you can get, like, if you can stack it up, if you could avoid your obsession and just beat up on everyone else and get, like, 8 stacks, it's pretty nice, man. It's a cool perk. I'm glad. I like it. They made it strong, but they made you have to earn it.
So can... This might be, like, I just want to give a scenario, and this is probably, like, the biggest scenario problem that, like, I could think of. 8, you have all your stacks for save the best for last, so you've saved the best for last. You have a person on the hook, and then a non-obsession person goes to unhook them. You get 1 hit on them, and then you get your 2nd hit on them, downing them. But they do the thing where they unhook them, and then you get the 2nd down, right? So you still have your 8 stacks. Do you think you have enough time to just literally, like, turn towards the person that got unhooked and chase them for, like, 2 seconds and get a hit?
Probably.
Yes.
Like...
Yes.
Yes.
Like, that... Is that a problem?
I mean, how long is a blood wipe? 2 seconds?
I'm gonna say that's not a problem. If a survivor is doing that, if they're saving their survivor teammate in front of a killer, that has 8 stacks of fucking save the best for last, that's their fault. Like, you shouldn't even be doing risky saves like that at all, you know? Like, I guess if, like, a killer is all out camping, then maybe you have to, but, like, even then, you should probably just let them go and not feed them, you know what I mean? I feel like that's a misplay on Survivor's side if you're...
Yeah, I don't think that's, like...
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a misplay for the Survivor.
And...
Survivors.
What? Crap. But anyway... and I want to add, if the Survivor getting off the hook had sprint burst, they'd be fine, because, you know, sprint burst OP. But, you know, I do gotta say, yeah, I don't think that's a problem. That would work the way that you said, but I don't think it's a problem.
Okay.
All right, cool perk. You guys like it, right? I love it. I'm gonna be running this whenever it goes live.
Yes.
I like it. It's gonna be on my wraith
Very
for sure.
strong.
Yeah.
Very
strong.
good. Very good.
Okay,
Next perk is
sloppy
Slurpy
butcher. Yeah.
Slurpy Butcher.
Slurpy Butcher. That's pretty... Dude, this is pretty neat. They added Mangled status effect. 25% increased healing time after being hit in addition to the bleed. So, this is, from what I'm told,
Man,
less...
I've wanted this since 2016.
Wait, what?
I've wanted I wanted Sloppy Butcher to reduce the healing speed since 2016.
It's kind of neat, man. Okay, does anyone know, like, what the percentage is on, like, all the add-ons, like the Rusty Head, the Rusty Chains and shit? I'm told that I think I was told it was 50, so this is like half of that.
Considerably, Tofu.
It's considerably. That's right, considerably, and this
we
is
don't
slightly.
do percentages around here, boy.
Either way,
considerably do percentages.
Either way, this is less potent.
We've been slightly doing more percentages around here.
Oh my god, you fucking dirty memers. But no, this is cool, man. This is like a built-in... Okay, this is cool except for one... I have one gripe with this, and I'll bring it up in a minute. But this is really cool because this helps, you know, killers that don't have anything that applies Mangled. They can apply Mangled with this. And it also just makes Sloppy Butcher generally better, which is cool because this perk has been fucking shit for a long time.
And you can also, like, smack people and leave them.
Or
Yeah.
Best used on M1 killers, which I think is a big deal.
Yep, definitely best used on M1
are
killers.
usually trash, and it is a big deal. I believe it increases the healing time by 8 seconds for self-care.
Yeah, it does. Okay.
And 4
So it's
seconds
25%.
without self-care. 4 seconds.
It's
Okay.
a 25% debuff, so since DBD math is really good, it's half, so 50%, right?
No, 33%. 33%.
Oh, okay.
So this perk is, in my opinion, like one of the better perks to come out. Like, Save the Best for Last is good. Sloppy Butcher is really good, in my opinion, because this is in my opinion, a colossal time waster. Like 25% increased healing time, like that's a quarter longer heal, and there's no timer.
It's
right?
a 33% increase because it's you divide it, so you do the healing time divided by 0.75. I know. So it's actually a third, because that's how DBD
It's a 4-second increase.
No, yeah,
it's
it's a 4-second increase, not a 3 seconds. So it's a 33% increase in the time taken.
Okay, well, the perk.
So it's good. I'm just.
Yeah, I know.
It's really good. Yeah, no, it's better.
I'm not disagreeing. I'm not disagreeing, but if it says, why would the devs make?
Because
it 25%?
complain to McLean. He's a fucking complain to McLean. He's like, this system is the best system. I'm like, McLean? No, it's not. It is terrible.
McLean?
If they want it to be 33%, just have it say 33%.
Just have it.
Dude,
Yeah.
can I go ahead and say what I'm terrified of this perk, okay? I'm just gonna say real quick. Like, at first glance, I was like, this is a sweet change, and then I thought about things. Then my brain started working, and I was like, and I was like,
brain on, oh God.
yeah, and I was like, bruh, the gears are turning, okay?
Dr. 3 Gen Strength.
Yeah, as
Yeah.
well as slugging Nurse. Imagine both
Dear
of those.
God.
Nurse can now apply Mangled on top of her, like, already, like, crazy good slugging. And Doctor also, if you guys don't know, healing debuffs apply to snapping out of it. So 3-gen Doctor.
Out of it before you can heal.
No. That's being removed. That is
that's being removed?
not intentional. Yes, because that's why Colorophobia doesn't work with it.
Oh, well then.
Did Sloppy Butcher
I
increase
do
the
believe
text
that
snap out of it?
apparently
Yeah.
there was some things that should be changed. Yeah.
Yeah,
Because
Sloppy
apparently-
Butcher.
That's not intended.
Yeah, Sloppy Butcher in the BTB was definitely increasing the amount of time it took to snap out of it, which is fucking rough, you know? Fuck that. On top of, like, the 3 gen strat already, which, again, I feel like these are just issues towards, though. Like, that would be fine if 3 gen wasn't a thing. I still feel like these are issues towards 3 gen. And the whole slugging nurse thing, I still think is an issue towards slugging instead of, like, anything else. I think like you should be able to recover past 85 to like 95 or whatever. You know, that's a whole separate conversation for another day though. But I was just thinking off the top of my head, like when I saw this perk, I was like, holy fuck, if you play against like a slugging nurse or a fucking 3 gen doctor, this is gonna be fucking awful. But
super bad.
You know, aside from that, though, I love it, you know? And, I mean, slugging nurse is already fucking ridiculous, so why not just make it more ridiculous? You know, who gives a shit? Whatever. You know?
Put the word slugging in front of it. Just say nurse is ridiculous and move on.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was about to say, that's just the problem with nurse. It's not the perk's fault, I feel.
Yeah, I guess.
And I think we... Like, I hope nurse gets, like, fixed, reworked, whatever in the future, but I think it's good that they're still letting other killers have nice things, even though nurse exists.
Yeah,
this is a very nice thing for. I loved playing with it on Wraith. I loved it, dude.
Yeah,
like,
it's definitely great.
Yeah.
With nurses calling and this, oh, it's insane. They don't know you're coming, and you get so much time to find them.
Yeah, it's cool that like it slows down the game and it also tracks. It's like a 2-for-1 perk. It's a slowdown perk and like a tracking perk. It's cool.
And that's the thing.
I'm gonna give Sloppy Butcher a solid A.
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 For A, that's pretty good.
Hey.
Okay, I'm gonna move on to Tinker, and I gotta say real quick that this got like changed again in the 2.1.0 patch. Yeah, they buffed it a little bit more. It added a visual indicator when it activates, and now it's okay. It was whenever a gen gets repaired to 90%, you lose your heartbeat range, or wait, you lose your terror radius for 8 seconds or whatever, which is how long it takes to do 10% of a gen solo. They changed it to 85% in 12 seconds, which
50.
is the exact same thing.
Thinking. It should be 50%.
So you get a bit more time with it, correct? Or you get more time to react.
Like when a gen is halfway done, you should get the notification to terror radius reduction.
For the rest of the gen though, or for how long?
No, for 8 seconds.
Oh, well, this is 12 seconds now. Now it's 85 seconds. It's 85% for 12 seconds, which I think is slightly better.
I like that.
So
I like that.
yeah, so like when a gen is almost done.
Saying like it should trigger when a gen is halfway done, not at like 90 or 85%.
That's an interesting thought. I agree.
Then you can just instantly.
But then it should have a cooldown. It should have a cooldown.
Oh, okay.
I forgot to say that, my bad. It should
have
a
there you go. That makes a lot more sense to my brain. I'm like, yeah, but that's a common problem.
But anyway, as it is right now, how do you guys feel about it? I mean, I
just said how I feel about it. I think right now it's kind of.
You think it's shit? You don't think it's good?
I don't think it's shit. It's just like, I think it's kind of one of those perks where it's like, it doesn't really do a lot. Like it still does something, but it doesn't do enough. I feel.
That's kind of how I felt about it. Like, it's an interesting perk, and, like, I ran it a lot and was like, dude, you could probably do so much with this. Like, you lose your heartbeat range for a whole 8 seconds or 12 seconds.
Perk.
Like, it sounds like you can do so much with it. Yeah.
It doesn't do anything.
Exactly.
It's like a really cool concept, but it doesn't do anything.
Yeah, and until you're actually playing with it, and it's just like,
I would say this is one of those, like, niche situations or niche perk builds. Like this is just called like the grab build now, you know what I mean? Or like the super spoopy,
super spoopy grab Myers.
This is yeah, well, no, like not even that. It's like nurse, right? It basically always comes back to nurse. Like I always think of like the worst case scenario. Like if I'm a nurse and this goes to like a 50% or a 90%, then I could just blink on top of a gen and rip you off of it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's true.
Like you usually get the not gradual because it's pretty quick, but you would get the tear radius unless they're running fast blinks pretty loudly in your ears when she's blinking towards you. But now there's going to be nothing. It's just going to be like, there's a nurse on top of me, and she pulled me off the gen because I literally looked away for half a second.
Okay, what if just like since Ryux makes a really good point. Okay, what if we did like what I said, where it's like at 50% you get a notification as a killer and your terror radius gets reduced, and it has a cooldown, and the survivors get like a slight audio cue that Tinkerer just got triggered.
Personally, I like the other thing that triggers me about this is I don't enjoy the concept of Tinkerer going for like a generator. Like I don't think that's like that's not the feel of Tinkerer. This is just like this is I don't know. It's like a stupid. I've heard it before, and I like wholeheartedly agree with it. I don't think the killer's focus is like tinker. I tinker gens. It's like no, that's not.
Yeah,
I agree 100%. I really don't like that about it either, but
I think
I
they
don't
should
think there's
change.
anything we can do there.
Yeah, I know.
Which
but
is unfortunate. It really kills the feel of the perk, and I used to love the perk wholeheartedly, regardless of how stupid and broken and fucking.
Tinker makes me think of like hillbilly, like sipping some moonshine on Thompson House, just looking over the cornfield, like tinkering with his chainsaw, just like I'm gonna kill some survivors today, you know, like
Kona, brother.
You put it on someone like
I'm
Wraith.
gonna kill them, brother.
And then you imagine the same scenario with Wraith, and it's like, this makes no sense.
Kona Wraith. Okay, well that's all I wanted to say.
Yeah,
about.
it's interesting.
They're
Yeah.
killing, I'd say they're killing the identity, and that's the feels bad man.
That's sad.
Yeah.
That's not...
But balance-wise,
There's
I
enough
feel
games in
I
my
feel
life
like
that do that.
yeah.
Balance-wise, it's not gonna break.
Half minute.
It's a niche perk. Yeah, it's just a
Yeah,
niche
very
perk.
niche perk.
Survivor perks.
Okay, ace in the
Dude.
hole. Oh fuck yeah, the ace in the hole buff, dude.
this so much.
Yeah, man, 100% chance to find add-ons of very rarity or lower. So poggers, and then also added a fucking at tier 3, 50% chance to get a second add-on of uncommon or lower. You get double add-ons. There's actually,
Dude. Okay.
dude.
Just like I hope in the future, maybe one day we get the ability to like destroy items we don't want for blood points. Then you run ace in the hole with pharmacy, and you make so much money as a survivor by just destroying whatever you got in the game. Oh, I want this.
That's dirty.
You're dirty.
Is it just like you pull a guaranteed green med kit with like 50% of the time 2 add-ons, and you bring that out of the game, and that's like I don't know.
50
I don't know what.
50 tofu bucks.
Best I
50
can do is
tofu bucks,
best I
dude,
can
I'm
do is
rich.
2,000 blood points. I don't know. Like we'll see what the conversion rates. Maybe if they do that in the future, like. But dude, that'd be awesome. I'd
That'd be
totally do
pretty
that as
cool.
a survivor. Anyways,
Anyway, yeah, this is a cool perk though. Yeah, like there's nothing really to talk about. It's pretty straightforward. Like looting is gonna get you guaranteed add-ons now. It's sweet. I'm gonna be looting every day. It's gonna be awesome. Anyway,
I love that.
since we just talked about perks and like their themes and all that, I think this is also it fits the character like Ace.
Yeah, very,
Pyro.
yeah, and this
It
one's
fits him very
really
much.
Every time I hear Tofu say there's nothing to talk about, I just want to go on a 2-hour rant on like
all right. I'll stop saying your trigger word. There's nothing to talk about. By the way, guys,
Just
Calm
nothing to
Spirit's
talk
next perk.
about.
There's not much to talk about with
Because-
this perk, but
yeah.
'Cause even like Ace players are those kind of people. I feel a lot of the time like Ace players are the kind of people who would run that and just like don't give a shit. They want their items.
Hell yeah. Calm
Yeah,
Spirit.
yeah.
okay, Calm Spirit buff is fucking sweet. This is really cool.
Yes.
Additional modifier that causes survivors to not scream in pain when either being hit under the effectiveness of madness or being affected by the clown's bottle. This is actually really cool, and I want to clarify that under the effects of madness includes being shocked and being teared up in madness. So like if a doctor's like walking around with a shock, like with his, you know, in treatment mode or whatever, and you tear up to tier 1, how it would usually give him like a scream and like a notification, he does not get a notification. He gets a point thing that says madness tear up, but he has no idea where they are. Really?
Oh, wait, can you hear that? Can you hear the doctor mains in the distance crying? The moon.
They're sitting there sadly with their violins, wondering what happened. I mean, it's really cool. I like it. Like it's again, I'm not even a fan of stealth gameplay. I generally hate stealth gameplay because I think it's boring, but I find it cool to have Calm Spirit be an actual viable stealth
Useful.
perk.
That's
Yeah.
like the goal here to
There's-
just make perks good, like viable.
There's something that people also have to consider when running Calm Spirit. Like, Calm Spirit now has a negative side effect where you're hiding yourself from the killer, but you're also hiding yourself from your teammates. Like, I know where people are when I'm playing in a doctor or a clown game or anything for that matter, because of noise, right? Or the triggered effects. So like, if I'm not seeing that from Calm Spirit players, then I'm just like, oh shit, I like the information gathering you have as a survivor is reduced now because these people are running Calm Spirit. Just something to think about because it could have an effect on you.
There's also, in a similar note, since when you hit a survivor, they don't make a noise anymore, and since most survivors, they don't just go like, ah, they go like, oh my god, it hurts! So when you hit someone, like through a window, for example, and then like, you don't know, you no longer can like track them with the audio. It's just something.
Yeah, it's true.
It's good.
They don't make a noise anymore.
It's a pretty decent little buff. I like it.
Yeah.
Okay, Dark Sense. Reveals the killer's aura. Oh, this is literally Bitter Murmur, but
It's
backwards.
Bitter Murmur, but for survivors.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. It's literally the exact same. When a gen is done, you see the killer's aura for 5 seconds. And then when everything's done, it got buffed up to 10 seconds. So it's literally the exact same thing. Except, on Survivor side, you just see the killer's aura for 5 seconds each time a gen's done. Which is maybe not as strong as the killer version, but I still like it. It's pretty cool. Right? How do you guys feel? It's okay.
It's cool as well.
It makes it. It's a buff. It makes it slightly more viable. I mean, it might be good for in like a stealth build. Do the gen, see where the killer is, avoid him for the 5 seconds. You know what I mean? And
but why run this when you can run Spring Burst and Self Care and Decisive Strike and Urban Evasion?
Because stealth gameplay, brother. I'm putting on my Perceived to be Claudette, and I'm running Calm Spirit and Dark Sense. I'm out of here. Give me that Urban Evasion, brother.
Give me those 12k points a game because I'm never interacting with the killer.
Hey, some people have fun playing stealth. I'm not here to judge, man. I personally don't like playing against it, but if that's what you enjoy doing, dude, then fucking do it, man. Fucking do it.
I don't enjoy it. Gives me less points. I don't like it.
All right, Deja Vu. They finally buffed Deja Vu. It's only been 2 years. They finally buffed it. It's no longer
going to be a meme that this perk is the worst thing to
well,
ever exist.
Well, that's what you think. It's still pretty bad. Perk now reveals the auras of 3 generators, which are in close proximity to one another for 30, 45, to 60 seconds at the start of the match and each time a generator is completed for the person who is using Deja Vu. So you basically just see 3 gen. Like, you spawn in the map and you just have 3 gen auras. It kind of looks like you're a killer for a second because you can, like, see the gen auras. And then...
It's trippy. It's trippy.
Yeah, it lasts for a minute. If you do a gen, then, you see auras again. It's basically just helps you find gens, but, like, again, that's not really hard to do.
Perks for, like, new players.
Yeah, this is, like...
It's at least better than it was.
Yeah, it's at least better than it was for sure, but it's still...
It's like, I think any of us, we can just, like, we know where the generators can spawn.
Yeah, and we know to like look up and look for the lights that are in the sky. That
we know where the spawns are.
That perk is gonna be OP on what's that map that's really close?
Larry's?
The game.
Yeah, that's the one.
Oh, the game? Yeah, the game or Larry's. Honestly, I struggle to find gens on Larry's sometimes.
I think
on Larry's,
it's nice for telling you where things are that you like on those maps, like being okay, so if I'm here. These are all the gens. I think it's a fantastic new player perk, which is great to see. I think it's good to do that.
Yep, I think kind of like what Atro said. They should just give this perk to new players. Like you do the tutorial, you just get Deja Vu.
Yeah, that's what I said earlier. Just like if you do the tutorial, you get like Deja Vu and something else level 3. If you do the survival tutorial, then the killers get Unrelenting and Predator.
Yeah, that'd be super cool. Maybe windows of opportunity for Survivor. I don't know. Anyway,
I guess you could give him like Dark Sense.
Nah, Windows of Opportunity, man. That's a new player perk right there, brother.
But it's a DLC perk that you have to pay money for.
So, oh yeah, Predator isn't DLC, is it? Fuck, that's a good point.
It's baseline.
Shit. Well, then maybe they should make it less DLC.
Soul Survivor.
Yeah, it's all Survivor now. Functionality change. For each survivor killed or sacrificed, your aura will not be readable within blank meters from the killer. 16, 18, or 20. So, like, tier 3 is 20. So that's weird. For each survivor killed or sacrificed, your aura will not be read within 20 meters. I don't... So,
Doesn't
like,
really do
at
anything
max,
against
is it...
barbecue.
Does that mean it stacks? So, like, at max, it'll be 80? Whenever everyone's dead? Is that what
Could
this
be.
means? Like,
I
within
think
this
that's what it
close?
means,
I actually didn't run this because Soul Survivor is one of those perks where, like, you can't actually see the change yourself, you know? Like, you have to
I
be the
think-
killer to see the
yeah.
change.
That's why I think Soul Survivor should also just like as a bonus, it should notify you when the killer is currently able to see your aura.
Yeah.
That would
just like
actually
as a
make
little
it.
bonus.
That would actually make it very solid perk because that's like utility as fuck, you know?
Yeah,
You'd be able to know
because
if the
it's like,
killer was running
you
barbecue.
know when they
and
have
stuff.
barbecue for sure.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
if they
Literally-
hook you and then
it's
the perk goes
literally-
off you.
It's literally
know.
like reverse whispers or reverse barbecue.
Yeah.
That's. I think if it did that, then it's actually a perk that would be very viable.
So, okay, let me read through this perk and make sure I understand. Functionality change. For each survivor killed or sacrificed, your aura will not be readable within 16, 18, 20 meters from the killer.
Yeah.
So,
it's based
like-
on distance from the killer.
So, like, let's say I have this maxed out, right? Let's say I have it 20 meters. So if I'm within 20 meters of the killer and they have nurses calling and I'm healing, they can't see me.
Correct.
Yes.
I believe.
Just imagine like a big circle around the killer, and if you're within that circle, they can't see your aura if that perk is active.
But that's bad. Or like it doesn't do anything.
That's kind
Really.
of the
I mean-
same
I mean-
thing. That's kind of what
That's
we
kind
already
of why I
did,
want
though.
this perk to tell you when the killer's reading your aura as
Yeah,
well.
but like didn't Soul Survivor used to be like you're untrackable via aura. You know what I mean? Like you could be on the other side of the map, but if you have Soul Survivor active, then their barbecue and chili isn't gonna proc on you. You know what I mean? What happened to that perk?
That was never a thing. Barbecue and chili was never affected by that.
Yeah.
Are you
'Cause-
talking?
Because like what it does in the current live server is for each person dead, it reduces the range of their aura
Of their aura reading
abilities.
perks.
Yeah, and barbecue and chili has unlimited range, so it doesn't actually reduce it. So it actually doesn't affect barbecue and chili.
Yeah, as well as the third tier or the third tier Soul Survivor, where after the third person's dead, you don't get hit by it. But when barbecue and chili is already done, the last time it'll ever go off, and then you get the immune to auras before.
Yeah, like the guy's not sacrificed until he gets sacrificed to the spider
Yeah,
gods. So
that's
yeah,
I
he'll,
suppose the point of this, because Soul Survivor was percentage-based cutoff of their auras. So it used to be the opposite, where if you were far, like let's talk Deerstalker, and it was 40% at tier 1 or whatever, the last 40% of the aura wouldn't be seen, so it would make their perk shorter. Whereas this one is the opposite. They can see you from far, but once they get close, they don't know where you are anymore.
yeah, and I think it's important to note that if this stacks, which I think it does, it looks like if for each person that dies, it
No,
stacks.
yeah, no,
them,
that's
right?
that's the point. So it gets up to like 60 meters, right?
Yeah, and at 40 meters, like once 2 people were dead, at 40 meters, that's pretty much everything. Like Deerstalker, that covers deer.
That does cover a big basis.
Yeah.
Scratch Mirror Myers gets fucked by this. The one red add-on for the clown, even though that's already kind of a bad add-on, gets kind
Yeah.
of screwed over by this.
So
So yeah.
my thing is this though, like that's the thing that I see it working on, like all saying mud and things like that. You know, like you can't be tracked within a close proximity. But that I don't know. That's interesting to me. I
Wait.
think that
Like All-Seeing Mud being the...
isn't that
Well,
the
your
one where
cloak.
Wraith you
Well, you
Oh,
see-
yeah,
you can see
All-Seeing.
objects?
Right. And my brain's
It's
not
awesome,
on.
yeah. Used to be hella meta.
No, but yeah, that's the point, is I assume. But even like against things like Deerstalker and Nurses Calling, this is really useful, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Sure.
Compared to before, because I feel like before it took too long to get going, whereas this one, I think being seen far away is fine with something like Deerstalk. It's actually trying to pinpoint that's the hard part. I guess that's
Which
kind of
is-
the point. Is like Nurses Calling. Sure, they can see you healing from far away, but like for example, let's say you heard the heartbeat radius and you hear them coming close. You can dip out quicker because you have the ability to not be seen close. It's like, I don't know. There's got to be some functional usage of it, I feel. And the
Yeah,
fact
it's
that
like
at
the whole-
higher tiers, it's better for some things, but worse than others. Or
Right.
worse for others. And mid tiers as well.
But here's my thing, which is what I don't understand, right? Soul Survivor. Let's say you have 20-meter range from the killer. What is the effectiveness of Nurse's calling? It's longer, right? They can see you
It's 28.
healing.
No, yeah, 20. You need 2 people dead. Nurse's calling's 28, so they can
It
see
says for
8
each
meters.
survivor, so
Yeah,
it's like
so at
one
two
survivor is
stack-
20.
Yeah, it would be interesting because like they would only be able to see you if they were far. Like hypothetically, if you were healing really close to them and they didn't hear you, they wouldn't be able to see you. So it's kind of
Yeah.
interesting.
and
but-
that's what I'm trying to say is that the close. I think close before it used to be they had to get close to see you. Now it's they have to get far from you to see you.
Yeah,
I
but
think
but
that's an interesting change.
I think most of the time you're gonna be coming in from far away when someone's healing. You know what I mean? I don't think people are gonna start healing within 20 meters of
No,
you
I
a
know,
lot
of
of
course,
the time. You
Of
know?
course. That's what I'm saying, and then you can use that potentially to your knowledge of the fact that they can only see you for a certain period of time. So maybe when they get closer, they thought you stopped healing and moved because after they get within 20 meters, they see that your aura's gone. So maybe they're like, oh shit, they're on the move.
That's
and
true.
then they take a different route and they lose you.
That's true.
It's
But
kind
if you
of
have,
cool.
like-
It is
If it
weird
also
how it
does the
works
whole-
though.
Yeah, sorry.
Sorry, that's all I want to say. You
No, I
can-
just wanted to say that, and then if it also does a whole thing where it pops up, it gives you a little thing when the killer can see your aura. It's just a very good utility perk.
Yeah, that
It's,
would
like,
be
up there
cool
with
if that
Bond
was a
in terms of
thing.
utility.
Yeah, that's not a thing, but I wish it was a thing. Yeah. Okay, in
Maybe-
my opinion
you
though,
know, maybe if somebody listens to this,
that's true. That's true.
wink, wink.
Wink, wink. But in my opinion, this perk is still pretty much the same thing as it was. So like, really, like it's. I guess it's slightly better when more people are dead. Actually, no, it's like pretty much the same. It's just now it's just better when 2 people are dead than it was before. And
Yeah.
that's
what I was
pretty
gonna
much-
say. Yeah, it's just
Yeah,
Yeah.
like that's pretty
Also,
much it.
I just wanted to ask really quickly, like, is it just me or are utility perks on survivors like very fun to use? Because I feel like I have a much better time when I run just pure utility perks on survivor than when I run like very active perks like Dead Hard or Urban Evasion.
That's a matter of opinion. I'm sure there's plenty
Yeah.
of people out
I
there
was just
who
gonna
just
ask
lose
if
their
you guys feel
shit
the same
every
way.
time. I mean, I agree. Yeah, I have more
love
fun.
Utility perks on
but
survivors. They're a
yeah.
lot of fun to use.
But I know for a fact there is a ton of survivors who probably just lose their shit every time they dead hard and a killer whiffs a swing, and they're just like, I'm the greatest survivor in the world.
yeah.
You know.
Who's like that, dude? Those guys are losers.
Yeah. No, they're not losers. Hey, man, they can have fun
I'm
however
being
they
a
want to
little
have
bit.
fun. All right.
I love doing that.
Hey,
So.
you can have fun however you want as long as you're not putting other people down. All right, that's all that matters.
And as long as you're not using decisive strike.
Dude. All right.
And as long as you're not deep pipping to make montages of killers that just left the
Yeah.
game.
Yeah, exactly.
There's a limit.
All right. Anyway, can we, I'm gonna move on. All right, we're gonna
Go
move
Trapper
on.
changes.
Motherfucking trapper changes, dude. It's time. All right, added a new add-on, padded
Our
jaws
boy
for the
Evan
trapper.
getting some love.
Dude, fucking finally, man. Honestly, fucking finally.
He's
Okay,
a
they-
poster child. It's about time.
They added padded jaws. Bear traps do not inflict damage to trap survivors, and points awarded for trapping survivors are increased by 100%. So this is like speed limiter, but different. This is interesting.
Speed
So
limiter
like
for Trapper.
it like traps them still though. So if you're nearby, you can still like kill them. But like
It's a very high risk, high reward kind of add-on because if you trap them and then get over there and pick them up, you didn't lose anything, but you gained double the blood points from it. But if you trap them and they get freed, you didn't really do anything.
yeah, exactly. You just kind of like stalled them for a little bit. Yeah, it's definitely interesting. I like it. I like it. It's cool. I like perks like this that give you more blood points, to be honest. But that will also have like risks. You know, it's pretty cool. I'm down. I'm diggity down.
Diggity digging it.
Added a new add-on, Trapper Sack for the Trapper. Common rarity. Start with and allows the transportation of 1 extra bear trap. So this is just Trapper Bag. But they changed it. They basically made Trapper
Changed the
Sack
name.
what Trapper Bag was. Because they changed Trapper Bag later down the line. It shows, but we'll get to that later. They basically changed Trapper Bag. And Trapper Sack is now the old Trapper Bag. You just start with 2 bear traps and you can carry up to 2. Bam. That's the whole thing. They changed trap setting time to have a 0.5 second open phase and a 0.5 second exit phase. Previously, it had been 1 second each. These times cannot be modified with add-ons, which is basically like the bending over to set the trap and then standing back up after the trap has been placed type thing, you know? Which is cool because this has already been reduced once before. Like, dude, on this game's release, I think it was like 2.5 seconds or something each. Open and exit. It was ridiculous.
It was like,
man.
yeah, it was like 2 seconds.
Yeah, it took like legit.
If you look at gameplay of the trapper like on release, it's like holy shit. This was literally slow traps.
Total, yeah.
Yeah,
it was slow traps by default.
Yeah, this
like,
change.
Just how good we have it now.
Yeah, this change is so good, dude. The animation's a little bit wonky for setting traps. They ditched the old animation and made a new one where they like, I can't even describe it. You'd have to see it.
Just kind of slaps the trap and
yeah, a lot of people.
Sets itself. It's
yeah,
weird.
I've heard a lot of people get kind of triggered about it, but I personally don't mind it.
Yeah, I'm gonna be like here the negative Nancy and say I do mind it a lot because I think a big part of what makes trappers satisfying is just the animation and the sound effects. It's like I hope
I can see that.
That's fair.
It makes it very. It's not necessary at all. I'm not trying to say this needs to be in the game, but it's a big part of what makes Trapper like satisfying.
I can see where you're coming from there. I wouldn't call you that crazy.
Yeah, that's definitely fair to say. Like, it's not like an urgent thing, but it's something that they should probably work on eventually.
I'm gonna shed any tears about it.
Yeah, but anyway, that's a huge deal though. Like, he sets traps like as fast as like Hag does now. It's crazy. Like, you could actually like mid pallet loop, stop and set a trap, and
Hag's even quicker now, though.
They have to leave. It's crazy. It's nuts. Like, it actually like leaves. It saves so much time, and on top of like saving just general time, it actually allows you to do stuff like that. Just shut down strong things. Like you could shut down an infinite that's getting run on you by just like setting a trap in 2 seconds and then vaulting the window. Then they can't take it anymore.
You can play super aggressively with these setting time add-ons now.
Yeah, and you don't lose that much time in the chase because you set them so fast. It's actually really cool. I love this fucking change, man. I can't wait for this to go live. Based on our silence, I'm just going to keep going. Disarm time set to 2.5 seconds instead of 1.5. So basically, disarm takes a little bit longer, which is...
Should be a lot more, in my opinion, but it's...
That's fine. Yeah, they originally, like, made disarm time low because of, like, trapping under hooks a long time ago. But then they also, at the same time, got rid of trapping under hooks, which was, like...
And then they never changed it back.
Yeah, so, like...
That's a theme, I feel. That's definitely a theme in this
game. Like, this is cool. You know, that's a step. 2.5 might actually be good. I think that might be enough. 2.5 is a decent amount of time.
Considering how fast you can place traps, it's a big deal now. That it's better.
Yeah, it's pretty. It definitely takes like I think it takes longer to disarm than it does to set it. I think. So yeah, or if not, it's fucking close. Loud noise indicators for trap disarm now have global range, which I don't know why that was ever not a thing. I think that was a thing at one point, and then they got rid of it, and then now it's a thing again.
It's so funny as a trapper when you hear your trap get disarmed, but they're too far away, so you don't get an indication. You have no idea where it is, and you're just standing there like, okay.
Yeah, then you're like looking around at all your traps.
Disarm my trap.
Yeah, I'm like looking around the map and seeing which traps are still armed, which ones aren't, and I'm like, shit, which one did they get? Yeah, but yeah, I'm pretty sure that used to be a thing, and then it wasn't, and now it is again. So cool, man. Good. Because yeah, that should be a thing. I think. Good job, devs. Sabotage bear traps now respawn after 180 seconds, which is 3 minutes. Similar to the hook regeneration. The regeneration time can be modified with the oily coil add-on and with the perk Hangman's Trick. So this is, again, we've kind of already touched base on this earlier with the Hangman's Trick change. But yeah, I mean, traps regen now, which is sweet. I personally think that they should make saboing traps easier to, you know, to like compensate for this, and that would also give people a reason to get off gens, which is a good thing. Killer means if people are saboing, that means they're not doing gens, by the way. Just gonna throw it out there. Okay? This is a good thing. Saboing
those oily coils.
Yeah, dude. Saboing is a good thing. I like this though, and it makes it so they can't completely eliminate your ability.
If they just I think it's really good that you're suggesting the fact that sabotaging should be made a lot easier to just open more ways, more pathways, because that just opens so many more opportunities for the meta to adapt. Because of if sabotaging traps is a lot easier, people would be like, oh, like a lot of people are gonna play Trapper now because he's actually good now, so I'm gonna start running Sabotage again and like countering that, and then Trappers are gonna be like, well, I'm gonna start running Hangman's Trick to counter a deck, and it's just, I think that's what this game needs, just
Yeah, agreed.
more meta.
Agreed. All right, the mid-phase animation's been reduced to 1.5 seconds. This can be modified using add-ons, which is, you know, just further reducing the trap set time. We pretty much already talked about that. Yeah, it's faster. It's faster, basically.
He's quick.
They also...
add-on changes.
I just dropped something right out of my house, sorry.
Fuck, you clapped.
They also changed his add-ons, man. So cool. Bloody Coil, or as we call it, Slimy Coil.
Rush through these, to be honest.
Yeah, you want to do them quick? Okay. Change rarity from very rare to ultra rare. It also, now when you disarm it, it injures the survivor, okay? But if you're already injured, it doesn't put you into dying. So it can't, like, down you. But if you're healthy, it can injure you if you disarm it. It's really neat. The only complaint I have about this that I just want to get off my chest real quick is that in the PTB, you don't really get much of a notification when it happens. Like, it would be cool if you, like, screamed or something. But you don't. You just disarm the trap, and then all of a sudden you're just injured. Like, half the time you don't even realize.
Probably get points for it, too, as a killer.
Yeah, well, yeah, probably, yeah. So that's really my only complaint, but honestly, cool fucking add-on. Good job. I like it. It's pretty
Really
fucking
cool,
sweet. Yeah. Diamond Stone has now been changed to Iridescent Stone, and now it has a new mechanic where every 30 seconds, one of the unset bear traps around the map chosen at random will become set, which is fucking crazy. I want to also state that when you sabotage a bear trap and then it respawns, I'm pretty sure the sabotage that actually I'm 100% sure in the PTB that it respawns where it got saboed. So if you basically with this perk, you can go set your traps around whatever shit that you want to shut down, and it'll just be shut down for the whole game. Even if they go disarm it, they'll just reset themselves. They can even sabo them, and they'll eventually come back and then reset themselves. So it's really interesting. Yeah, I didn't realize that's how it was going to work, but that's how it works. Like, you can just trap up a bunch of really strong windows, and they'll be trapped for pretty much the whole game. They can only keep them, you know, disarmed for a certain amount of time at a time based on how fast they disarm them or whatever, you know? Really fucking cool, dude. Really interesting. Honing Stone now inflicts Dying State. It's basically... Oh, wait, no. Inflicts Dying State if they free themselves, yeah. If a teammate comes and frees them, then they're fine. But if they get out themselves, bam, Dying State. Get slugged, dude.
Such cool design. I love the design of all of these add-ons.
It's so fucking neat, dude. Isn't it? Like, yeah, they're actually doing a really good job with them, man. Logwood Dye and Tar Bottle add-ons now stack, but they were bugged in the PTB. We tested them. It didn't do anything. I ran these both, and I had my viewers play with me, and they took a screenshot of what it looked like, and it was literally a bright trap. It was like I didn't have any add-ons at all. I don't know what the deal with that was, but hopefully they fix it, because I'm really excited to see how dark a trap can get. But it was bugged, so I can't really... There's no opinion I can have. Trapper Bag now allows the transportation of 2 extra bear traps up from 1. So it's basically like a stitched bag. I think what this is, though, because they also changed... or they didn't change Stitch Bag. What this is basically like the difference between Trapper Bag and Stitch Bag is that Stitch Bag, you start with all 3 of your traps. And I think Trapper Bag, you start with...
You have to collect them.
Yeah, I think you still start with 2, but you can carry up to 3 is what it is. So I think the only difference is that with Stitch Bag, you actually start with like an extra trap, which technically gives you an extra trap on the map too, because there's always 5 on the ground or whatever when you spawn. So like the more you spawn with in your hand, the more possible traps you can have at one time, you know? So yeah, that makes Stitch Bag like significantly stronger enough for a rarity because you get an extra trap, you know?
Oh boy, Hag.
Pretty straightforward.
Excited.
Yeah,
Good
dude.
job, Trapper.
Dude, right? Like,
Trapper
I gotta say, all together, like, all these changes that we just read for the Trapper are fucking sick. I'm so excited to play Trapper again, man. Like, he's been in such a bad spot for so long. And, yeah, man, I'm fucking stoked. I can't wait.
Finally flex the Trapper legacy again.
Yeah, brother. Hell yeah. It's gonna be sweet. I'm gonna go back to, like, June 2016 Trapper main. Okay, we got some Hag changes, too, which are pretty, you know... Okay, we'll just go ahead.
There's a lot less of them, but...
Yeah, it's like the same. The first change is the same thing as Trapper. Like the open phase and exit phase of setting the trap is reduced, so she just sets traps faster, basically, which always a good thing.
You want to switch it up again for the reading, or are you fine?
Oh, if you want to read, go ahead, but I'm fine to read right
Alright,
now. I'm no
alright.
longer sleepy.
Hack changes. Let's go. Change trap setting time to have a 0.5 open phase and a 0.7 exit phase. Previously there had been 1 second each. These times cannot be modified with add-ons. Increase the trap teleport range to 40 meters from 32 meters. Revisited all of the hack's add-ons, removed all the negative effects on the add-ons, giving the hack the bit of a buff that she needs. The mid-phase animation has been reduced to 1 second. This can be modified using add-ons.
Cool.
Yeah, I mean the teleport range is cool, but they made her
She
set traps
sets them
faster.
a little bit faster now. I think it's like 0.5 and 0.3,
Yeah,
so
and
she
then
sets them 0.8.
yeah,
quicker.
and then this whole next section is all the add-ons, and like we don't even have to read them. They just removed the negative side effects.
Yeah,
Is all it is.
They removed all the
That's
negative
everything.
effects.
Just say
There's like
the
two
only-
add-ons that they change a little bit.
Yeah, the only thing that I feel like we need to say is like waterlogged shoe. They slightly increased the hag's movement speed, which is a very big deal.
from 3 or 4.4 to 4.5, I believe.
Yeah, so like just running this perk, you're faster,
Add-on.
But
Yep.
yeah, what perk? Did I say perk? Yeah, add-on. But I
You
think
said perk,
waterlogged
yeah.
shoe also keeps you from teleporting to your traps, right? Or does it? Is that-
Correct, I believe.
I think it does. Yeah. So like it makes you faster, but then it also makes you a chasing killer. You don't really use your traps that strategically anymore. I mean, they slow or whatever with waterlogged shoe, but it's not the same, And I think that's it. You said 2. Aisha, was there another one that they like
And-
changed?
No, I think it only was the waterlogged shoe.
Yeah, I think everything else was just removing. Like they got rid
Yeah,
of
they
like
just removed.
the movement speed on scarred hand, which is a huge deal because that was terrible. But yeah, I mean everything else was just them removing things. That was the only thing that they actually added. All right, Hunter's change.
Insta-wine hatchets are not nearly as ridiculous anymore as they are, especially since
Auger.
Tinkerer has been basically removed.
Praise
as it is.
fucking Jeebus, dude. So yeah,
We
Tinker's
tried
gone,
this.
and yeah, they
We tried this a
also.
little bit, yeah.
That's a significant. I haven't looked at these numbers. So Babushka used to be 20%, and now it's
10% less
12.
overall, yeah.
Wow, that's crazy, dude. On top
If you
of
run
Tinker
both,
being
it's
gone,
10% less.
dude. Fuck yeah, that's awesome. Plus Tinker being gone, that's super cool. Dude, good on you, devs. Hell yeah. So wait, that means that if you run both add-ons, it's basically the equivalent of running old Babushka, right?
I think math,
Yeah.
man, I
Yes.
think math doesn't work this way because percentages aren't additive, but
Okay, well, roundabout. We'll say roundabout. Just to be, like, estimated. That's pretty
Yeah.
cool. So, like, the very max charge time you can have is, like, 1 Babushka. So that's pretty cool. I mean, even that's strong,
so
but
basically,
that's significantly less than fucking Insta-Wine, because Insta-Wine was some old bullshit.
basically, yeah, just run the babushka and whatever else you want. Don't run both anymore. I don't think
Yeah.
it's worth it anymore.
Probably not.
Oh well.
Alright, the shape changes, man. Myers
He's a
tier
little
1
faster
speed
than tier
buff.
1.
Yeah, from 90%, which means he currently moves numbers. He's just faster, basically. He moves
And
faster.
if he carries people, he carries them as quickly as a normal killer. He isn't very, very slow anymore when he carries someone in tier 1.
Yep. Basically, he's
I
just
guess
slightly
this
faster doing
is-
things.
This is, I guess, supposed to be like a compensation for removing bloodlust in tier 1.
Yeah, it's
I
he
think that's
needs
the motivation here.
he needed something for sure. Cause I gotta say that as a Survivor player, Scratch Mirror Myers was like the biggest fucking joke in the world. To be honest with you, all you had to do was not get pulled off gens, and then the only thing he could do was hit you once, and then you could literally just run forever because he just couldn't ever fucking catch you. It was a joke.
Yeah.
So
literally couldn't catch up.
yeah, I didn't play with this. I should have. I should have tested this, but I didn't. I'm really curious to see like how well he'll actually do chasing, But any buff's a good buff for that because that was a really struggle. Like I avoided fucking scratch smears like the plague because they're so bad against good survivors. And yeah, man. Oh, dude, the brand new part change is next. This is fucking poggers, man. I know
Ooh.
Apples is gonna love
This
this
is
one,
what-
dude.
This is what the killer mains are creaming themselves over, I feel.
Oh yeah, and well, right now they're miserable because everyone's dumping their brand new parts. So killer is fucking
Yeah,
That's
terrible
why
right
I'm
now.
not playing, yeah.
Yeah, killer
It's
games are
making me
awful. But they're basically they're taking brand new parts. They can no longer repair generators 100%. Installing a brand new part will now complete 50% of a generator over 5 seconds. During this, though, you'll get 2 difficult skill checks, which is basically like overcharge or decisive strike level skill checks. They're not like the old BMP ones. They're like overcharge style. Successful skill checks will result in a 5% progression each, and the tool locks is no longer consumed, but the add-on is consumed instead. Now, I'm a god of skill checks, so I never failed one. Can you guys tell me?
Right.
I'm memeing.
Right.
I only used it.
I've
I only used
hit
it once.
everyone.
Did you too?
They're not very difficult.
Yeah, for 2 years I haven't missed one. I haven't
Alright.
gotten the Steam
Alright.
achievement bad at skill checks yet.
All
But there should be a Steam achievement for like hit 100 skill checks in a row.
I actually have a question here. Did anyone like fail a skill check on this? I used it literally one time in the PTB and I hit both the skill checks, and then afterwards I was like, shit, I should have failed one to see if it actually like. I don't know what happens when you fail one. I don't know if it like blows the gen and you like lose progress and you lose the BNP, or if it just doesn't give you the 5%. You know?
I don't know.
Because okay, I'll just talk in two hypotheticals. If blowing the skill check actually like blows the gen and cancels the BNP, then this perk is actually gonna like hurt a lot of people more than help them. You know what I mean? Because some people out there struggle to hit those skill checks. You know what I mean? I mean, it's not crazy hard, but it definitely can be missed. You know what I mean? But if failing the skill check just doesn't give you the 5% and the BNP keeps going, then that makes it. That's probably how it should be, considering it's an ultra rare. And I like this. I think it's cool. Instead of just like doing a gen, it just helps you do a little bit of the gen slightly fast, and then you just keep repairing at regular speed. Like, I think this is pretty much the strength of an ultra rare. I think anything when it comes to like repairing generators faster should be very touchy, because that's obviously already a huge problem even without, you know, items and add-ons and stuff. So yeah, this is probably the level that I think it should be at.
So my biggest pet peeve about this BNP change is not the change itself, but the how people respond to it. Like, if you're one of those people that are like, oh, a BNP change, great, and then you start talking about things that have nothing to do with a BNP, like, well, when are Moris getting changed then? It's like, okay, well, here we go. Okay, first of all, we're having a constructive talk about BNPs, and now we're talking about Moris. Completely different subject.
I've heard that
right?
so much, man.
And it's
Yeah.
You need to look if you're one of those people and you're getting triggered, if you're listening to my voice and you're like, fuck you, Ryukes, all right, I want to talk about Moris now.
Stinking killer main. Fuck you.
It's, you need to objectively look at what a brand new part is giving you. Like don't look at a brand new part now and just be like, fucking trash, right? If you think that repairing a quarter of a generator over 5 seconds is trash, then don't play this game. Go play Civ 5. Like, what I like, that's basically the main thing that I'm trying to get across the line is like, this is still a good add-on, right? This is an ultra rare add-on, and it is still very strong. Being able to do a quarter of a generator much faster is crazy. Like, it's very good. Yeah, I don't know. That's my biggest pet peeve.
Yeah,
So.
I gotta also say too that like it doesn't even consume the toolbox anymore. So if you throw this on like a commodious toolbox with like,
You don't have to run like a shitty toolbox anymore. For
yeah,
this.
like even after the BNP is done, you're still gonna be repairing gens faster for a while because you still have your whole toolbox to use too. So like, it's pretty strong, man. It's pretty fucking good.
It's just not broken as hell.
And
Brand new parts, finally balanced, I hope.
And I definitely agree with the whole, like, I hate whenever people, like, BNP's getting there after and they're like, what about Moris? Because obviously BNPs are just a survivor part of Moris. And it's like, dude, come on, man. Come on. Like, Moris is something that is worth discussing for sure, but, like, not whenever we're, you know.
It's a completely different topic within the discussion of balance, because like if you're looking at it from this direction, right, if you're looking at it from the overall umbrella of balance, right, then fine. If you want to hopscotch to Maury's, then we can just hopscotch to literally any other topic. We can hopscotch to Sloppy Butcher's fucking OP that directly relates to brand new parts just as much as Maury's do. You know what I'm saying?
Yep,
like
exactly.
it's like,
not.
come on, bruh.
It's not actually
It's like-
related. Yeah.
If they want to go like from, oh man, brand new parts getting nerfed, why aren't Warriors getting nerfed? Then I can be like, okay, well, if survivors are allowed to have something like the Size Strike in its current state, you know, whereas the Survivor Strike equivalent for killers, where you just get to kill a survivor if they catch them straight up. It
Yeah.
makes no sense.
Yeah, I literally agree. But back on topic with BMP, quality change. I think we could all agree this is a very
Yes.
quality change. It keeps it strong, but it's not like fucking
Ridiculous.
demoralizingly strong. Yeah. Like
Yeah.
even if hypothetically all 4 people bought a brand new part, which is like so fucking rare, but
That's one gen.
yeah, that's 1 gen done in like
Yes.
5 seconds, you know, which is
Yes.
better than 4 gens done in like, you know, 10 seconds or whatever the hell it was before. Like it was fucking crazy, like the amount they could get done before. So yeah.
It's also like, if you think about it, BMP before this change used to be something, if everybody brought it, the killer just loses. That's
Yeah.
it, they're done.
Yep, you
Like
just
imagine
lose.
if the killer had something that they could bring and it's like the survivors just lose. I guess Ebony Morris used to be that,
Yeah.
but there was still a chance. Like with this, there's no chance. You're just done for.
Yep, exactly. Yeah.
And then like I think I shouldn't have to say this, but it shouldn't be possible to have something in the game that's just like you lose.
Yeah, like you run
Tough
like
luck,
yeah,
buddy.
like if you put this on, you lose. Yep. Yeah, I agree.
I mean, sprint. Sorry, I something.
Please.
Yeah.
Anyway, are we gonna go over all these fucking bug fixes? Like, I don't
No,
think this is a
no,
big deal.
This was
Yeah.
the last. This was the last thing I was gonna say. Before
Yeah,
we stop.
this is just like there's nothing really that significant in here. Just a gigantic list of minor bug fixes. So like, I don't know if anyone that's listening to this wants to like see the bug fixes, I guess I'll just like link the thing that we're looking at right now, like in the video, like underneath or whatever, and you guys can just go look at it yourself if you want. Don't think there's anything that significant in there, but you know, feel free to take a look.
Did we kind of just like I don't want to say gloss over, but like the exhaustion change?
Yeah,
Or was
we
I just
no, yeah,
was
we
it
we
brain
we,
dead?
we kind of glossed
did
over it a
kinda
little
gloss
bit.
over it,
Yeah,
yeah.
we kind of discussed more about the pickup speed because that was in like the same little section. So we talked way more about that than
Oh boy, I
So-
think
So something that I do want to say, because I've heard this a lot about this patch, is that killers got buffed and survivors got nerfed into the ground on this patch. And I disagree, first of all. I think that the brand new parts are an overall balance change, even though it does directly correlate to survivors. That doesn't really like matter. It's something that's like a glaring pimple on the face of this game, right? Like it's like a huge issue. The biggest thing that I think people were complaining about was exhaustion, and I just wanted to give a little bit of a look into how people advocate for these changes. So like I put in a note for the exhaustion cooldown to be removed once a person is hooked to the devs. I really hope they go forward with it or something to that effect, meaning like you can't be pulled off the hook and like not have your exhaustion active. Does that make sense?
hmm
Like at least you would have a chance, you know what I mean?
So,
Yeah,
by
that makes sense.
exhaustion active, you mean like your sprint burst would be up rather than
Yes.
being exhausted. Got you.
No matter
yeah.
what, when you're getting pulled off the hook, you would have your dead hard, you would have your
You're no longer
sprint
exhausted.
burst. You would, yeah, like that's. I think that's a huge issue, like that reset, because it's just like if you don't even have that chance anymore, like it's just gonna be bad.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's the most important time. That's like the only time when I think sprint burst is actually like a good thing to have. Like I hate sprint burst and I shit talk it all the time, but that's like the one time where I think it's like yes, sprint burst is actually good in this situation. Like off hook is so good. I agree.
I think that was a fantastic suggestion from you as well.
I agree. That's a
I
fucking
think that, yeah,
amazing suggestion. I gotta
Nothing,
say,
right?
dude, if there's any devs listening, that's the best suggestion this whole podcast. Just throwing it out there.
Ever
Fucking
ever
listen to
heard
that shit.
ever.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it is, brother. Okay.
That's fucking right,
Oh,
brother.
yeah, brother.
But seriously,
And then
that's really
followed
good.
up by a lot of brothers. I love it.
I feel like
Do
I
you
want
want
to.
to say something?
I feel like I want to say something, but maybe I don't want to open up this
I
fucking.
just
Do
wanted
it,
to give
just
like
do
a
it, just do it.
general suggestion to exhaustion perks in general because they're, I mean, as Ryuk said, they're kind of a big problem in general. I think they should play around with since right now every exhaustion perk except for Dead Hard gives the same speed for the same amount of time, and I think they could look into maybe changing it depending on how much effort you need to put into to actually get the speed boost. Whereas, for example, you know, sprint burst, there's really no effort into getting the speed boost, and I think that's probably a big reason why sprint burst is just so ridiculous, because as compared to the other exhaustion changes, there's no effort. You just start sprinting. That's it. You get an insane amount of movement speed boost.
Yeah, I agree, but I can
So
say.
like, whereas sprint burst would be like, maybe even like play around with sprint burst was just like very slightly faster than the killer, but for a longer time, you know, something like that. It's just an idea, but you know,
Yeah,
I think that's something they could look into.
I know what you mean. I could make suggestions about sprint burst all fucking day, though, man. That perk.
Yeah.
Yeesh. All right, I'm gonna open up a box here that I probably shouldn't. But okay,
Is he opening Pandora's box?
but before I say this, let me just clarify by saying, okay, Apples, you're a killer main. You pretty much play mostly killer. Atro, what would you consider yourself as far as like most? You're probably mostly a killer player, right?
I mean, if you look at my killers, that's yeah.
Okay, like Math Man, you're probably like a survivor main mostly, right? Like I feel like you've played more survivor than killer.
Nah, dude, I'm a true born killer. Yeah, I'm a survivor.
Yeah, and I don't even know anymore with me. I spent like my first like year playing this game, playing killer, and then for the past like year, I've been playing nothing but survivor, and I'm just
Hopefully
recently
also,
getting
like,
back
he
into
goes through
killer.
phases.
I'm
yeah.
I'm all over the place, but I feel like I've played a nice, even amount of both. Can we all agree that this game, since the beginning of this game's release, has been fucking insanely survivor-sided? Even as a survivor player, I can easily recognize that as a survivor, you do not have to try very fucking hard. You can like fuck around and dick off for like minutes at a time. You can go loot boxes, you can go follow the killer around with a flashlight and not be being productive for minutes at a time and still be able to do all the gens and leave pretty easily. Whereas as a killer, if you even waste like 20 seconds fucking around and everyone is just working on gens for those 20 seconds, you basically threw the whole game, you know?
Yes.
Like, can we all
Yeah,
agree that's a
it's-
thing?
Yeah.
I think if you have a game that's supposed to be asymmetrical, where it's like you got one big scary like 8-foot tall guy chasing like all these little survivors around, and you're playing the survivors who are supposed to be getting hunted and chased and killed, and it's relaxing and more relaxing than playing the big baddie.
Right? Yeah, like
What?
I
So
got
can I, Tofu, before we go down this rabbit hole, can I do the disclaimer preface? Because
Yeah.
I've said this before and people get really triggered.
I know
If
they
you
do.
are a survivor player, okay, this does not mean you're bad at this game. It doesn't mean
Oh, I know what he's gonna
it
say.
doesn't mean that like we're saying that like Survivor's so much easier, like it's fucking brain dead. That's not what we're saying. Like we appreciate you, we appreciate your big spins, we appreciate your montages. What we're just saying is overall, in terms of like this game, right? Like Survivor has the potential to be much more relaxed and have a laxed attitude about it, whereas Killer, like you said, if you waste 20 seconds, that can be game breaking, right?
Yeah.
That's
Totally
all we're
agree.
saying.
And-
We're not bashing on Survivor players here.
Yep, and I just want to say that my view of balance has been changed a lot recently as I play more and more. Honestly, this is going to be a topic for another day, but I'm just going to go ahead and say it right now. I think Nurse is the only balanced killer in this game. I think she's the only one that's truly balanced, to be honest. I feel like when you're playing against a good Nurse as a survivor, you actually have to try. You actually have to think and use your brain and try. How often do you guys as survivor players, okay, like this goes for like rank 1 experienced survivors. Obviously at low ranks, things are way different. But at like experienced rank 1 survivor play, how often do you guys really feel like you have to use your brain and try hard and think and try? I never do. Like literally if I'm playing like Zubat or like a good nurse, then yeah.
I think you can easily always be using your brain, but I don't think you have to, and I think that's the distinction.
Yeah,
I don't think you have to use your brain as a survivor, and I think that's a big point as well.
Yeah, like you can basically just autopilot the whole thing and not really have to like pay very much attention and still do super well. And I just want to say that like every time like a survivor nerf comes in, like this exhaustion nerf is very like insignificant, to be honest. Like
it's really almost.
Yeah, I want to also say that there's not a million, but there's a lot of good survivors out there who don't even run exhaustion perks. You know what I mean? Like there's people out there who don't even touch exhaustion perks and do just fine. Like exhaustion is not needed at all. Like it's not a necessary thing. So like it getting nerfed is not that big of a deal. And people are like freaking about this. And it's like, man, like you have to understand that the general balance of this game is like, it needs stuff like this, dude. Like, the game is not good where it is right now. But it's really not.
I think that's also mainly because since this game gives you the choice on what side you want to play, like, I think DBD is like the first, like, quote-unquote big game that gives you a choice. Even like a game like Evolve, you can set a preference, or like Friday the 13th, but you're never guaranteed. So DBD has the potential to, you get a lot of people who only play Survivor, and you get a lot of people who only play Killer. And those are usually the people who just get all upset about this because they're just generally, I guess, uneducated about what the other side is like.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, so here's the main thing, and I think this is the grasp that the devs are going for. We've all heard the two die, 2 live median scenario that they're trying to get to. I really think the devs are trying to make it fun for both sides and remove the stigma of entitlement for a 4K and entitlement for surviving. I feel like both sides are just like I feel entitled to survive from this. I feel entitled to be let out of the match. I feel entitled to, if I don't kill all 4, then I fucking lost. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it just, I think they're trying to get to a nice midway point where a match is a match and it's fun for both sides.
Yep.
Right? If you are a certain type of player and you don't like something in this game, then there are ways that you can like counteract that, right? Lightborn being a perfect example, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like I think that's something where it's just like, if you really fucking hate flashlights, then run Lightborn, right? Things like that. I just think they're trying to make it more enjoyable. But yeah, I don't know what else we want to discuss in this podcast.
Yeah,
definitely not that last thing you said, Tofu. We can save that for next one.
Yeah, I feel like we could do a whole podcast on this if you guys want. Sorry, go ahead, Aitra.
I just wanted, like, I mean, to what Tofu said earlier and to what Ryux just said, I've had like this thought multiple times from like, man, Nurse is like the only actually balanced killer in the game for the very reasons that you said. I just never really wanted to say it because it's a very controversial opinion, of course.
Yeah, you say that and people like
I don't want to get yelled at by my
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I agree, but I'd say that Nurse feels good to play, and that's a big thing.
Yeah,
so.
and like
Apple said,
one thing I just wanted to say about what Ryuk said is that I definitely want the game to be like more casual or more enjoyable, like more fun, because I think also again this, I don't know if it's a problem that the game has or the community has, but this community is obsessed about like making this game competitive or like seeing it in a competitive light. You know what I mean? It's like this game shouldn't be competitive at all.
Are they though? I don't.
No, I completely disagree. I think it's a very split community. I think the killer side is all about securing the kills no matter what. Just fucking like
yeah, that's what I mean. It's like I have to secure the kills because I want to win. It's like competitive. I have to win. I can't just have a good time.
But what I'm saying is not on the killer side. I would say on the survivor side, I do not see rush the gens and get out. I see more of, I'm going to make this killer want to not only uninstall this game, I'm going to make them fucking neck. You know what I mean? Like I'm like Like I'm bringing in with my friends 4 flashlights, and we're gonna have the time of our fucking lives and make sure this person does not have the time of their lives. That's usually what I see from the other side.
Definitely
Now,
when, yeah, you're true. You're definitely right, because it's also kind of reflected when, not gonna drop names, but when like rather big YouTubers say, "Oh, I enjoy this game because I can make killers want to uninstall and like stop playing."
Let me explain something to you.
No.
You don't see montages of people doing gens. You know what I mean? Look at how efficiently I'm getting out of this game. Haha, he XD. God, I'm such a good survivor. Like, you are actually a good survivor when you survive and like get out. But like making a person just like like rank 19 and just, you know, like that's the issue that I see. So I wouldn't say it's competitive. I'd say it's more a mindset on like making this game fun for both sides. Like that's all I really want to say about it is like I want the devs to make it fun for both sides.
Yep, I agree.
Yeah, that's what I want to.
I feel like what we should do is we should just do a whole nother podcast. Maybe next week's podcast can just be us talking about balance again. And you know, talking about this stuff. I have a lot to say, honestly. My opinions have changed a lot recently. Like the Dead by Daylight tournament where we did scrims against Amkrill's nurse and also his other killers, like his Billy against his nurse, and then like, dude, like just playing those games where we actually had to try hard was like it was like mind blowing. It really like changed my opinions on things a lot, to be honest. I think I really like realized some things that I didn't really realize before, you know.
Can I make a suggestion?
What's that?
For next time's podcast?
Yeah, sure.
Sure.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I wanted to see if it was okay.
Okay.
The
So
silence
you
means
guys-
you shouldn't speak. No,
Okay.
just kidding.
you know the meme like insert opinion, change my mind.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
Oh boy.
I want like, I think that Tofu's example of like nurse is the only balanced killer changed my mind. I think that's a good one. And I think that if you are listening to this podcast, you should send in an email with your one-liner opinion so we can talk about, you know, like clown is the only good killer, change my mind, you know, like something like that. Something.
But where do we send those emails to? Tofu?
You can send them to a daylightcastpodcast@gmail.com. That's right, you heard it here. Daylightcastpodcast@gmail.com. Link below the video.
Cool.
That is 3 words.
No, but
for
yeah,
one
seriously.
email.
And honestly, if anyone wants to give me shit for saying Nurse is the only balanced killer, I'd be more than willing to discuss it next week or whatever. Or if you want to wait until,
you fuck
or if
shit.
you want to wait until after you hear me out too.
Yeah,
because...
Tofu, you're just a baby killer with no brain, and you are bad.
Yeah.
That's my argument.
Yeah. I would advise the people at least hear me out though first, because I feel like I'm gonna get a lot of hate until I explain myself. But you know, that's fine. That's fine. I don't mind. Yeah. Well, I have a good reason for thinking it, and I'll explain it next week. It's interesting. But that sounds like a good topic, even if you guys are down. And I think we're pretty much wrapped up here, right? Like I think we've discussed everything.
Yeah, that's
we're
all
kind of
we
just
really
we're sort of just rambling now.
What
So-
else do we do? Come on.
That's true.
We're ramble
shit
masters.
talks.
Yeah, we
Shit
ramble. That's
talks
what we
sprint
do.
burst. That's what
So yeah,
we do.
wrapping
We're all
up.
just a bunch of ramblers, except for Ryukes, I guess.
Anyone have any final things to say about the PTB?
I think this was a
Overall,
pretty
very
good
good.
PTB.
Yeah, I think it was
It's
fucking great.
nice.
According to Mathman's math, and he is the math man, the 6-week
That's why
period.
he's called the map man.
Yeah, the 6-week period ends on the 24th, so this might be out on the 24th, maybe, if the devs stick to their
Poggers,
schedule
if
or
they
whatever.
stick to their schedule, yeah.
But who knows? Might take longer. Might be early.
The
Who knows? We'll
24th
see.
is a Tuesday, right?
Yeah, hopefully this
Okay,
video will
the
even
clown
be
was
uploaded
released
by
on a
then.
Tuesday too, so
Yeah.
it would
That's-
hit
that's why.
perfectly.
Yep.
All right, and that's about it. We this is your boys over at Daylightcast. Remember, I am Otofu. I stream at twitch.tv/Otofu. We have Ryuk's Apples, who also streams pretty much full time, right? Would you call are you a full time streamer, Apples? Would we be able to call you a full timer?
I guess so.
Like
I'm
you-
a full-time software engineer and full-time streamer.
Yeah, you're
and
double
it's
full time,
fucking-
dude. I don't know how you have the fucking time, man.
Everything.
But Rex Apples is a very good killer man and a very chill dude. He's an awesome guy. Go check him out as well. There's gonna be links for all of these below the stream. Mathman also has been getting into streaming a lot more lately. He's an awesome guy. Probably the best Survivor player in the game, in my opinion. I don't think I've ever run into someone who I've had more troubles with than him.
I mean, now that Tom doesn't play anymore, yeah, probably. That's been a thing for like over a year though.
Anyways.
And Atro, and my man Atro, Knifebird, who does some really ridiculous meme shit on YouTube. He's pretty hilarious. I'll link his YouTube as well. Yeah, he's pretty good. He edits my videos sometimes. He's funny. He's a funny guy. You guys should check out his videos. He's good. And yeah, man, that's us. That's our podcast. Thank you guys all for hanging out and listening. And we'll be back next week. Feel free to send in the emails if you guys have anything we want to discuss. And we appreciate you guys listening.
Thank you. Bye bye.
See you guys.
Bye.
See you. See you later. See you.